The Toronto real estate market is changing every single month, and April was no different. In this week's video, we're going to go through the stats and trends and go through exactly what's going on in the Toronto real estate market for April of 2024. And if this is your first time with the channel at Homes into Reality, my name is Gabriele Battista from Homes into Reality. I'm a Toronto real estate agent, very passionate about helping first-time buyers becoming future homeowners in the city of Toronto. So if you have any questions, in the description of this video, you have my phone number, you have my email, and a link to book a call with me all there. We're happy to get you set up and started on your home search to becoming a first-time buyer in Toronto. And we do videos like this every single week. So if you want to learn more, you can follow us, subscribe, like the video, comment what you want to see more of, or follow us on Instagram where we post very similar videos on a weekly basis helping first-time buyers. Now, enough of me, but let's get into the content. And what we always have to start with in these videos is the median price point of different types of Toronto properties. We go through the 5 major property types and we go through the median price point, mostly because we want to make sure that the price point that we're looking at is a more realistic price point for a first-time buyer. So this is a great number for you to plug into a budget, plug into an affordability calculator, and see where your payments will be. Your average tends to get skewed by your luxury property. So looking at the median price point, in my opinion, for first-time buyers is the best way to go about it. So if we look at the stats over here, you'll see the median price point of a detached home is 1.445 million. The median price point for a semi-detached home is 1.2 million. For a freehold town, we're $1,250,000. For a condo townhouse, we're just over $200,000. And for a condo apartment, we're at $668,000. Now with these numbers, they're quite useful to plug into calculators or into budgets, but we want to know what that's going on with the trends, what these prices are doing on a year-to-year basis or on a month-to-month basis. So we'll start with the year-over-year changes. You'll see with detached homes, we're down 1.37%. So this is down from April of 2023 to April of 2024. For your semi-detached homes, we're at the same price point from last year. For your freehold townhouses, we are down 3.6%. For your condo towns, we're down 5.6%, and it's just the condo apartments where we're up year over year at just under a percentage point. Now, we also want to look on a month-to-month basis, so what prices are doing from March of 2024 to April of 2024. So the most up-to-date changes in price points, you're looking at a change from March to April of 3.21% for detached homes. For semis, you're at 2.65%. For your freehold townhouses, we're up just under a percentage point. We're slightly down with condo townhouses, about a percentage point, and we're up 1.65% for your condo apartments. So the sentiment tends to be that we are increasing month over month with prices, but on a year-to-year basis, we're not as high as we were this time last year. To illustrate what's going on in the markets a little bit better, I like to look at some of the graphs for your detached homes and your condos. You'll see on a year-to-year basis, we're slightly below where we were last year, the yellow line being 2023, the green line being 2024. We're slightly below. With that being said, we're not that far below. We're very much in lockstep of increases from January all the way up to April at a very similar pace. When it comes to a month-over-month pace, you'll see again, we are increasing overall. Every single month since January, we have seen increases in the market, and that tends to be quite normal, other than 2022 being the bit of the anomaly, where prices have gone up during the spring market. You'll notice the same thing when it comes to condo apartments. We're very much in lockstep where on a year-to-year basis, we're slightly above, and this situation was the only one where we're slightly above year over year, but we're very similar month over month as well, where we have been increases since January. And then the trend sort of shows that as we get closer to May and June, that's where prices kind of taper off and maybe may go down. I think that might be a little bit different. We'll get into why in a short bit. But the important thing to note is overall, since January, prices have been increasing. And then year over year, we've been very similar to where we were with other property types compared to 2023. Now that's what's telling us where prices have been and where they are right now, but not where they're going. And how do we decide where the markets might think things are going? And that's by looking at the supply and demand of real estate, which again is your buyers and your sellers. And the stats that I always like to look at first is your supply, your new listings, and your active listings. With both of those numbers, we're quite significantly up over this time last year. And because listings supply on the Toronto real estate market is extremely seasonal, I only like to look at this type of stuff on a year-to-year basis, especially when it comes to the big numbers. You notice that we're up on new listings 51%. So that's new listings coming onto the market in April. We have 51% more listings coming up. The same goes with your active listings right now. We're 68% higher than we were this time last year. So I don't need to be a rocket science to tell you or a mathematician to tell you, we're significantly higher on the supply side right now compared to what we were this time last year in April, and the graphs show it as well. As I mentioned, listings are very, very seasonal, which is why I like to use a graph like this. You'll notice that March, April, and May, and sometimes June, tend to be the busiest months when it comes to listings coming out to the market. You notice the green line, we started the year fairly slow. We were definitely down in the amount of listings that we had compared to those really busy years of 2021 and 2022, and it's jumped up since April. So a new spike of inventory has come onto the market in that case. You'll notice from 2023, we're significantly higher than where we were this time last year. You notice the green line was always a little bit higher than 2023 stats, but this month was the first month where we're significantly higher on the new listings that are coming to market. The same thing goes with your active listings in the market. So this is the amount of listings that are currently on the market as of right now in April. It doesn't matter when they came onto the market initially. You notice that we've been trending higher than the past 3 years every single month, but this year's been a noticeable spike up in the active inventory in the market. So that's in conjunction with a lot of properties coming onto the market and not enough demand keeping up to make sure that these properties stay consistent or stable. So we definitely are seeing that spike in the market right now, which is why I think things are a little bit different. But once we go into sold numbers, I'll give you a sense of maybe where I think prices are going based off of that. But very much a noticeable amount of supply on the market as of April. We can also look at sold activity. So before the listings was our supply side of the real estate market. Now we're looking at on the demand side, which is our sold activity, buyers who can reach agreements with owners. So if you look at sold activity overall, we are down 5.6% overall, and they're spending a little bit more time on market compared to this time last year. Now, we're only down a little bit compared to this time last year, but when we look at the graph, it tells a little bit of a better story as well. Although we're only 5.6% down off of the numbers from last year, it's also noticeable to look at how far below we were some other years in the past, 2021, 2022, which were fairly busy years, but 2023 was considered a very slow year in Toronto real estate. We're currently on pace to be slower than that. So to give you a sense, demand is essentially staying the same, if not a little bit lower than last year. And then our supply that we were looking at before is much higher, which leads to maybe where some price, I don't want to say corrections, but price changes or the short-term future of the Toronto real estate market, where that may be going. Revisiting the new inventory on the market, it's really important to note on where this new inventory is coming from compared to what is selling on the market. You'll see right now we have new inventory coming to the market. We are significantly heavier on your condo apartments versus everything else. The reason why we show the price changes in the graphs for your detached and your condo apartments, because that's the most volume that we see on the market. So we'll notice here condo apartments takes up more than 50%, closer to probably 60% of new properties coming onto the market. Now, this is pretty similar for other months. If you go back and check, this is not out of the ordinary. What's out of the ordinary is what's coming up next. The fact that now we go to the sold activity, the same graph for the same amount of properties, but this is what's selling on the market. We're looking at a much lower proportion of condo apartments that are selling compared to what's on the market. So it may feel like a smaller adjustment, but because there's so many more new listings that are condos are coming out and less of them are selling, that's showing us maybe where the activity levels are changing right now in the market, what's busier, what's not busier. And those graphs line up really, really well to what I'm currently seeing in the market as I'm transacting right now with clients. I'm seeing that there's portions of the market, let's say condo apartments, that are less competitive. There's a lot more supply in the market. Less people are purchasing those, and where it becomes an opportunity for a first-time buyer to get into a building and not see that competition. And frankly, they're seeing, although the prices that we talked about earlier are showing prices increasing, there probably is price decreasing because those properties are not yet selling. It's taking more time for those properties to sell. So there probably is opportunity, and I know there's opportunity for a first-time buyer in the condo market right now. Compared to, let's say, a detached market, which is still quite competitive. We're still seeing multiple offers. I was in a multiple offer situation yesterday with 4 offers. And that entry-level price point tends to be the most competitive in this market right now because in the end of the day, we were in April. It's a spring market. People want to transact and buy that next home that is a little bit more less in supply compared to a condo. So that's my 2 cents this week. That's what's going on in the Toronto real estate market for April of 2024. If you do have questions, you want to dig deeper into these numbers, all the graphs that I used today are my own that I use with Treb's Market Watch. So if you want to dive deeper into that and how it affects your situation, in the description you can get my phone number, my email, and a link to book a call with me all there. and we can go through how that information affects you. And if you are a first-time buyer in the city of Toronto, even if you're 6 months out from making that first big move, I would highly recommend getting in contact so we can talk about how I make future homeowners out of first-time buyers, and most of my clients, if not all of my clients, are quite successful. So I appreciate you watching to the end of the video. Come back next week for more information on condos, and we'll be here. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe,